Hey, good evening. Good evening, guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much, Prutha, Nanaya, Payal, Kathuria, Swati, Piyush, Rimjim. Hi, hi. Hi, Jaya Kishore. Thank you for joining, guys. आज एक बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक है अबाउट चिल्ड्रन अबाउट टेकिंग केयर ऑफ चिल्ड्रंस मेंटल हेल्थ about developing a brain of the child so that he is able to accomplish better and better milestones in life. Hi Rinky, hi Rinky, hi Shajia. Hello everybody. Hi. Yes, yes, I will join you soon. I will take you in soon. So, yes, like I was saying, हम हमेशा गलती बच्चे में ढूंढते हैं एज पेरेंट्स. हमें लगता है उसे ये नहीं आता वो नहीं आता. वी कैन नॉट हैव ऑल द चिल्ड्रन बीइंग टेस्टेड विद इन द सेम framework. Every child has a different ability, every child has a different interest because of the ability, and we have an expert, a great expert who has mastered the art of training a child and making him a better person. I, from Unimo, Kiran Bajaj, and our show, The Holistic Life, welcome you all to this interesting session with a very experienced guest of ours, whom I'm very proud to introduce shortly. They are the pioneers and probably only one center in the whole of India, or maybe the whole world for that matter, that specializes in handwriting development and enhancement, and the way they take care of neural space is something amazing that you need to know in this session with me tonight. I am very happy to introduce Avinash Bartake, who is the founder of Neural Space and the Trainer Mom, India's first handwriting enhancement company for parents, a professional cognitive development coach, a handwriting expert, and an entrepreneur who is an ADHD expert. He's got a certification in cognitive development training from Learning RX, Colorado Springs, Colorado, and the Giants in cognitive development programs. He has spent 17 years in the training and development domain working with various MNCs prior to starting his entrepreneurial journey. Guys, please join me as I welcome Avinash. Hello, Avinash. Good evening.
Hi, Kiran. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to see you.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Like I was telling our audience about you and your journey, Avinash, I would like you to tell the Unimo group, the Universe of Moms, which has been brought to us tonight by Pothos Events and Unimo together. The platform is across the world. So you have a
Mm.
huge audience there wanting to hear about your journey, about what is it that you specialize in, how you can help so many mothers who are probably today struggling with their children and want them to be better and better in their independent lives. Please.
Sure. So first up, let me thank you for the very pleasant introduction. Loved it.
Thank you.
Uh, okay. So like happens most of the time. Okay. Uh, you tend to come up with solutions that you struggle with yourselves. Most often than not, if you look at any entrepreneur's journey, usually that's where it all stems from. And exactly that's what happened with me. So
Hmm.
I've spent about 17 years, and my wife has spent about around the same time in the learning and development domain.
Hmm.
Uh, this is prior to our entrepreneurial journey.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, in around 2007 is when the seeds for what I'm going to do in the future were sown. I didn't know it at that time. I was just invited for a Rotary meet where there was a doctor who spent some time in Switzerland working on the, functions of the brain.
Okay.
And I attended that meet, and I just couldn't get it out of my mind. There was something that he was talking about training the brain and neuroplasticity, and it just stuck. The question actually that troubled me was, I've spent so much time in the training and development domain, and how come I don't know anything about this? Something that he kept referring to as brain training. And that's where it all started. Actually, it started because I wanted to help my daughter. My daughter was, I think, that time in the 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade. Bright child otherwise, but she was struggling with math. And somewhere at the back of my mind, I was always looking for solutions. I did the normal things that any parent would do, extra tutoring and, looking for coaches, trying to help her myself. I'm a science student, so, but then nothing seemed to be helping. And that's actually where the whole journey started looking around for information based on his talk. And then I found so much great work that was being done internationally. And that's where it all started. Finally, it all culminated in me talking to the people at Learning RX in Colorado. And that's when I decided, that's it. That's my calling. I'm going to quit my job. Nobody liked it then. My family.
Yeah.
But any case, long and short, I quit my job and I traveled to the US after a couple of meetings with them, trained with them. That's Eileen and me, my wife and me, both traveled, trained with them, licensed their program and brought it back.
Wow.
Now you will see that my company, I named it at that point in time, Neural Space. So I was very sure that I'm going to work in that entire space.
Yeah.
Because we found so many things.
Yeah.
So that's how it all started. And we started in 2010. Proof of the pudding is that my daughter, who quit math in 8th grade, graduated from Symbiosis in commerce.
Okay.
And she graduated with costing as her optional subject.
Wow.
Tell me, as a parent, what more do you want?
What would you want? Yeah.
What more would you want?
Absolutely.
So what do I do with those extra, 5 and 7 marks? All I'm concerned as a parent is my child should grow up into a confident young person who's going to add value to herself, to her family unit, and definitely then, the world around her.
Of course.
So that's where it all came with.
Okay.
And then, of course, then we moved on to some of the other programs that I thought were very, very crucial. But the system didn't have the wherewithal to help either the child or the parent handle these little things at their own place, at home or things like that.
All right. Great. So, आपने जो ये choice ली, you experimented with your daughter and it gives you amazing results, right? तो मैं ये जानना चाहूंगी, आपने as you moved on, आपने एक बहुत interesting formula निकाला of training the mom, and you call it the trainer mom. It's a brilliant idea. I know a little bit about it, पर मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप हमारे गेस्ट दर्शकों को भी बताएं कि हम ये क्या मिलेगा अगर हम ये ट्रेनर मॉम एक्टिविटी या ये जो एक कोर्स आपने क्रिएट किया है, हम अपने बच्चों की कैसे मदद कर सकते हैं?
Sure. तो see, basically होता क्या है कि children from kindergarten onwards, one of the first things that a mom would usually spend time with a child doing is helping him read and write. Of course, kindergarten school में तो होता ही है, but moms and most of the time today, even dads spend time working with their children on this. Okay. Now, this is need-based from the parents' perspective. Most parents do not have the technical qualification to be able to do this. Okay, but they do this out of the goodness of their heart, or let's say out of just the love for the child.
Right.
All right. And, the teacher at the kindergarten usually has a very healthy teacher to student ratio around that time.
जी
Maybe 3:1 or 5:1, where she
जी
is able to focus on a one-on-one format with the child. Okay.
जी
Now
जी
come first grade, and I'm saying around all over the place. Okay. Come first grade and over, that ratio suddenly changes to maybe 10:1, 20:1, sometimes 30:1, sometimes even 50:1.
yeah
Okay. Now, with so many children, you can't expect the teacher to spend, one-on-one time working with a child.
हाँ जी
Okay. That's one. Second, if you look at handwriting as such, it's one of the best things that a child can do to help him cognitively. Now, that's been proven.
हाँ जी
Okay. Let me give you a very simple example. Let me give you a very, very simple example about us adults. Okay. So if you were reading something, okay, is it possible for you to be distracted and inattentive and lost?
yeah it is a bit
It
yeah
is. I mean, sometimes it happens, no? You've read the whole page and then you realize, yaar, maine padha kya?
हाँ होता है
And I have to go back and read the whole thing. That's
होता है
possible in reading. However, think about this. If you are writing something down, is that even possible that you'll be distracted?
no
No. This is the
no
most simple example to prove that handwriting is a whole brain activity.
right
Okay?
correct
Now,
yeah
point number 3. If you look at today's day and age, okay, many schools, Western world, definitely. Here also, some of the higher end schools, that's creeping in, where a lot of work happens on either a tab or a laptop or a PC.
yeah
Now, that's glamorous, yes, but the child is losing out on a lot of cognitive development during those years.
that's so true the cognitive development that is required yeah so there were some very interesting examples also that we had discussed please tell us about it there are some moms I know
Yeah.
who have joined so yeah please bataiye
Okay. Okay. So look, when we created the Trainer Mom, we wanted to achieve two things.
जी
One is help the child cognitively through one of the most basic activities like handwriting, writing correctly. Second is create a trainer, a one-on-one coach who is most invested in that child's development. Now, who
correct
better than the mom or the
mom or
dad
dad
in terms of being invested emotionally in the child's development? Okay.
right yeah
So you achieved two critical things. One, you achieved a one-on-one coach for the child. Second, you achieved a fun atmosphere which a mom or a dad can create, which leads to quality bonding time.
that's
You know,
true
a lot of parents today want to know, what do I do?
how do I do
Fun
it
and games is, yes.
yeah
Fun and games is all fine. There's a lot of games out there, but writing is an important activity. It can be fun. And the third aspect is when a child realizes that he can write nicely, and it doesn't take too much. It's so simple. From a mom's perspective also now, or from a dad's perspective also. When they realize that this is so simply done,
yeah
it's so process driven, and I can do this. You know, like I tell moms all the time, you create a game out of it. In the sense that let the child win.
yeah
Let the child, yeah. So let the child teach you कि यार मेरे से तो नहीं हो रहा. How come you are being able to do this?
yeah
Maybe you are both watching the video tutorial which we are talking about, and करना क्या है? See, it's so process driven that every session क्या करना है, कैसे करना है, क्या नहीं करना है, and when you hit roadblocks, which roadblocks you will hit, that's also been given to you. And when you hit those roadblocks, how to handle them. So now the mom can actually create a fun session. Where like in our training lingo, we call it third person teach. The best way to learn is to teach it. So let the child
teach you
win and teach you.
correct.
look, mom, this is how it's done.
एक
You know.
एग्जाम्पल देना ना अविनाश, प्लीज,
Okay.
in this
Okay.
scenario.
So okay. So let's say in our first session, if you look at the letters of the alphabet C is one of the pillars of good handwriting. Okay. Now, if you got the C right,
C.
look at the number of letters you'll get right. C forms the foundation for an A,
Yeah.
for a D, for a G, for a Q, for an O. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you just got that one right, in let's say the first session, we are just doing, let's say, C and an A and a D and a G. Okay. If the child is able to do the C better than the mom, and the mom is struggling, by design she's struggling.
Yeah.
But she's struggling.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you see what happens. Suddenly the whole ball game.
Right.
Okay? Move to further some other pillars. Okay, like an L, which forms a pillar for many more letters of the alphabet.
Yeah.
Then comes the spacing. And if the child comes to that state where he is able to, tell the mom that, look, this is how it's done. That's it. You've achieved a whole lot.
I know.
Second.
So much of confidence in the child that my mom doesn't know and I know it.
Absolutely. So that's the way. Now see, typically what happens? Why did I come up with this? Typically what happens is, I've had so many parents come to me to help them with this. The reason, what happens is, now, typically look at those children who struggle with writing nicely, okay, with tidiness and neatness. So the mom goes to a parent-teachers meeting, and this is the third or fourth time she's heard from the teacher, please help your child with that. This is, I mean, he writes so terribly, I can't read what he's written. Okay. Now, untidy writing or untidy work is not just to do with handwriting. See, handwriting is technically also called brain writing.
Brain writing.
This is the reason for that. Yeah. The reason is this, that you don't so much write with your hands and fingers. It's important. But the stimulus is from the brain.
Yes.
Now, the moment you start writing neatly and nicely, this spills over in a whole lot of other aspects of the child's life.
Yeah.
Tidiness and neatness. And over the last 10 years, we've seen this with so many children. So that's a fringe benefit that you're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, also, if you look at fine motor development, gross motor development, what's known as visual processing, visually understanding spacing and stuff, you're automatically doing it in the back end. All through the simple activity of writing, which the child is anyway going to have to do till post-grad.
Yeah, true.
No point in trying and addressing this at 8th grade or 9th grade or 10th grade when you know that in the board exams, my child's papers are going to be tested by not his teacher, someone else in some remote village.
Correct.
Especially in India, I'd say.
True. Yeah.
So that's that.
The fun activities, like you mentioned, out of handwriting that we're talking about, and you also mentioned about brain writing. I mean, in a way, handwriting is actually brain writing, where it actually engages the entire brain. We spoke about 71 parts of the brain that are there, and how a child's cognitive skills, his motor skills, everything is brought together to enhance his entire personality. We're talking about a holistic development of the child. So
absolutely.
How handwriting is a very basic, part of this entire process. And if the mother engages with the child to ensure that the child is able to do this correctly, it will help him in all the aspects of his life. And that is
bang on.
That is amazing, Avinash. I mean, most of the mother friends I know, and I know that the audience will agree with me, that are struggling with this. And you have given us some tips. Now, अभी बताइए कि अगर ये setting हो जाता है, तो ये जो अगर हमारा जो education system है, it really does not focus so much, because जैसे आपने correctly कहा कि bandwidth एक teacher के पास नहीं होता. So that's where the mother comes in, because today the fees of the schools are so high that the parents expect कि teachers सब करे, school सब करे, but that's practically not possible for the teachers. So the parent
Absolutely.
has a
Poor
role
thing, the
to play.
teachers have it really bad. I mean,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
all can she do?
correct.
The
So,
teaching community can only do so much.
and the trainer mom that you're talking of is such a fun activity to do because it gives you bonding with your child. आप अपने बच्चे से इतना quality time spend करते हैं, and the result you get out of it is a good relationship as well, which is so important in today's mobile device and all these times. कि a child can have such a
Absolutely.
small attention span. Is there anything else you can add to this, Avinash?
Yeah. So before I go in, let me give you a little anecdote.
Yeah.
In my center in 2012, when we started with the handwriting program, I was my center's first student,
Okay.
adult
Okay.
student, age 44 at that point
Okay.
in time.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, the reason for this is why this whole thing also came about is my son himself was in eighth grade. And the example that I mentioned was I was one of those parents.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Couple of
Yeah.
times. Okay. Please help him write neatly. Please help him write neatly. So we got a
Hmm.
coach, and you won't believe this, but all four of us, my wife and
Acha,
me, and
your son
both
and
our
daughter.
kids,
Okay.
yeah, son and daughter, all four of us would sit at the table and learn handwriting.
Wow. That's
Okay.
amazing.
Reason, yeah, I mean, and trust me when I tell you this, the amount of gain that I got from it as an adult, okay? Later on, I can tell you this because I didn't know it at that point in time. Later on, I read that handwriting is an excellent meditation activity, and I can vouch for that
Huh.
now.
Even I've read this somewhere. Yeah.
Try it. Even you can try this sometime, okay? You're
Hmm.
really hassled someday, okay? And take a pen and paper, write slowly and deliberately. Write such that try to write the best that you can for about 5-7 minutes,
Okay.
and then check what's your brain state.
Okay.
Believe me when I tell you this, you will have calmed down at least 50%, and
I'm
all
sure.
those hassles that you thought were absolutely.
Wow.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's from the
Yeah. Please
yeah,
continue. Please continue,
so that's
Avinash.
from the parents' perspective, where this is going to it's a take home for the parent
Yeah.
himself. And everyone likes it when you write nicely, when it looks nice.
Yes, of course. Of
It's
course. I've seen
yeah,
some amazing work of yours, Vinash, where the children have graduated from very poor writing to amazing, जो हिंदी में कहते हैं ना मोती जैसे अक्षर, literally वो देखा है मैंने, and
in just 15
that
hours.
in just 15 hours is remarkable change. And I can imagine कि वो writing से उनके बच्चों पे कितना असर, मतलब उनके लाइफस्टाइल पे कितना असर हुआ होगा. बच्चों पे तो हुआ ही.
Absolutely.
Overall जो एक lifestyle है, they must have brought it so much control. You've not just changed their handwriting, you've changed their lives literally, I think, if I may say so.
Absolutely. And this comes as a fringe benefit.
हाँ, हाँ, yeah.
The key is his own confidence.
तो मुझे एक बात बताइए विनाश, while we are talking
Yeah.
this, like you were very nicely saying that when in the meditative state, when we are writing and the deliberate writing one does.
Yeah.
आजकल after post COVID, journaling has become a very big topic. Because I host shows on holistic life and I have guests who talk about journaling in a big way, and I have to an extent experienced that yes, journaling does help. But from your experience and your expertise and the handwriting that you talk about, the way you have mastered it, do you see a connection with journaling, writing down your thoughts or writing down your affirmations, helping any individual to get better in their lives?
Absolutely. Look at it this way, okay?
Yeah.
You have to first think up something. Okay? Originally. So look at the process. You're thinking of something, and it's usually a positive part. Okay? Let's focus on that.
Yeah.
That part of journaling. It's positive. Okay? So you think of something. then you actually write it down. Usually, if you think of something and you write it down, let's say it's a task, a to-do task, okay? It's a bucket list. Most often than not, you will realize that you will end up doing it. Let me give you an example. I have been a meat eater for most of my life.
Okay.
Most of my life. Okay. 5 years back. Yeah, it's about 5 years back. Okay. I woke up in the morning at 2:30. Just woke up in the morning and started writing.
Okay.
Journaling kaho, poetry karo, jo bhi kaho. That day and today, I don't touch meat.
Oh, just one day, suddenly.
That it was like a spark. If I read it out to you, I mean, I can't offhand, because what happens is, so it just says, no more meat for me, please. With time, my skin has grown thin. I can digest the meat, but I can't digest her dying bleed. I love chicken, mutton, fish, but for the whims of my taste buds, it needn't sacrifice its life, I wish. No more meat for me, please. With time, my skin has grown thin.
Oh,
Now
so
look,
nice.
I've written this.
Wow.
Can you imagine me eating meat again? It's an impossibility. This is an example of how writing, journaling helps you do things that you would think impossible. I couldn't go a meal without meat.
Interesting.
And this is my personal example. So, and there are examples and examples.
Yeah. So the education system today, the laptops are coming in, the iPads are coming in, children are sending homework and stuff like that through, online. And we hear, on the other hand, Avinash and Kiran are discussing handwriting. So I really don't know how, is it right? Is it wrong? Or can we have a path in between to sort of get
so
this
let
together?
me answer that with a very simple question. Would you say tapping a screen or hammering a keyboard is a dumb task?
It is very
Cognitively
dumb.
speaking. Cognitively speaking. It takes no effort.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. On the other hand, creating letters in a certain format that is visually appealing, that has a certain process to it, that takes time, effort, energy, and pain.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So which one is the more intelligent task?
Cognitively.
Writing by hand.
Yeah. Writing by hand
And
would be more intelligent, right?
It's far more challenging.
It is.
And in that challenge lies the growth. Okay. So I feel pretty bad that suddenly writing by hand has become the little poor cousin of the glamour of typing on a keyboard or just tapping a screen.
It's like an outdated thing. पहले होता था, अभी तो
but
modern हो गए.
But if I have to tell parents, I'll tell them this, that look, it's a very small window. Okay, it's a very small window.
Yeah.
What? 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade. Okay. We must make the most of that window. Go back to our times. I come from a convent school. And the amount of stress that they put on writing neatly, writing nicely, it's paid us dividends.
Oh yes.
I don't remember us getting bored in vacations. Do you?
No. We were given pages to write as homework. Diwali was like 1 page a day you have to write. Now, while speaking to you, I'm recalling all those days and times. Punishments for writing your correction 10 times, the same word 10 times.
Absolutely.
And it was annoying in those days, but yeah.
And actually, that brings me to one of the maladies of this system. Look, let's say a mother got feedback from school saying that your child needs to write better. Okay, this is the 3rd or 4th time, and she's being told in front of there were 3 other mothers. She's taken it to heart.
Hmm.
Okay. So what does she do?
She
What
will
is, or
spank
dad,
the.
let's say dad. Yeah, let's leave the moms alone. Let's look at the dad.
No,
So
this is
dad was
mommy's
there.
channel. It's okay. We can talk to mommies. No worries. They are all open-minded mommies here.
Okay. So what happens? Now she knows only one way. The carrot or the stick.
Yeah.
You know. तो या तो बेटे ये कर लो मैं तुमको ये दिला दूंगी
Hmm.
और ये नहीं करोगे तो आपका मोबाइल फोन मेरे पास रहेगा
Punishment.
आपका टीवी
Yeah.
टाइम 0 हो जाएगा आप खेलने नहीं जा पाओगे now what happens is you finish this work what apple 50 times bat 20 times cat 50 times now what is the child doing he's doing this activity under duress
Yeah.
he's not doing it to improve his handwriting he's doing it because mom has asked me to do it
Hmm.
okay now what is he doing he's repeating certain mistakes
Hmm.
actually he's practicing mistakes
Yeah.
and practice makes perfect
Wrong.
so he's
In the wrong
perfecting his
sense.
mistake
He's perfecting.
yeah
his
he's
mistakes.
perfecting his mistakes
Yeah.
now to undo that takes so much more time
Yeah.
what if the mom knew that this is such a simple task just follow a certain process it's going to be fun the child is going to start liking writing by hand and then just a huge positive
Another question just popped up in my head is post-COVID, the younger
Yeah.
children, writing ki practice chhod gayi. They were not being able to write. And
Correct.
suddenly after 2 years of not writing, they started writing. And exam writing was a big problem area for the teachers, for the children, for the parents. And it was a new process altogether for most of them to restart writing for that matter. And younger kids who had not even started, going to school were suddenly in the first grade after 2 years of schooling from home. I think my heart goes out to them for the challenges they must be facing and their parents and their teachers for them. But what would your advice be? A trainer mom course help karega?
Definitely. In fact, the reason why I launched this course was around that time. The number of parents that I got coming to me, 2 years, they aren't able to write, etc. So I said, now look, I can't create an army of trainers.
Yeah.
My trainer, when we have trainers, handwriting trainers at our office, they get adept at one style in 6 to 9 hours. Just 6 to 9 hours it takes an adult
trainer
person to become a proficient coach. Improving his or her own handwriting, changing it completely, and then learning the tricks of how to teach it.
Right.
That's 6 to 9 hours. So that's where we decided that I can't create an army of coaches. Okay. But if I were to be able to empower the parent itself, that's where it all came from. And I started looking around all across the net as to ऐसा कोई है क्या कोई program जो parent को सिखाता है कि भाई this is how you teach. This is how you teach.
Right.
This is what you do first. This is what you don't do. When this happens, this is how you address it. There's nothing out there. So we decided let's just empower, the parent itself.
Right.
That's where it all came from. You're right.
Right. Even it just popped up. So I also wanted you to, tell us about how a little bit about neural space also. Of course, we know the trainer mom story, and then at the end of this, I will request the team to even put up your number so that they can reach out to you directly to the audience. But आप बताइए कि neural space किस में master करता है?
Yeah. So we started with neural space. Okay. If you look at what's known as what we colloquially understand as IQ, intelligence. Okay. See, the brain, though it may look like one unit, essentially from functional perspective, there are 71 different skills that we all use to process information. Okay? Now, when it comes to what we understand as IQ, the process is the ability to grasp efficiently, retain efficiently, and recall information efficiently. Correct. So that's the whole process. So if you compare two people, one person is far more efficient than the other in grasping, recalling, and retaining. You'd say that that person is far more intelligent. right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this process is a function of 71 different things, grouped in 7 major categories. Okay? They would be, namely, like visual processing, which has 7 subskills, auditory processing, working memory, long-term memory, processing speed, working memory, logic and reasoning, attention. Attention has 3 subskills: selective attention, divided attention, sustained attention. So when parents struggle with activities like this, कि यार वो टीवी तो 2-2 घंटे देखता है, लेकिन बुक किताब हाथ में आ जाए तो 10 मिनट में मम्मा आप पढ़ो, I will listen. है ना?
Yeah.
A lot of parents struggle
lot
with
of
that.
parents. Yeah.
है ना? And the mama is willing to do that because she knows that otherwise this boy is going to, or this girl is going to struggle. So
Yeah.
छोड़ो यार, I will only do it. I will read out to you. सुनो.
Yeah.
But what we are ending up doing is hampering that child's growth. I'm not saying karna nahi chahiye. There are times when you might have to do it. But what happens is that we look at these things as an interest issue. Typically, it's not an interest issue. It's usually an ability issue. And when a person is addressing an interest issue, it's usually counsel. You tend to talk and tell and samjhao and try and motivate.
Yeah.
This is how it should be.
Yes.
But that does not solve the problem. When a child can do something easily and efficiently, you don't need to motivate from the outside. You don't need to generate interest. The child will automatically do it.
Yeah.
So it's these 7 skill sets that actually are the base platform on which all learning is. When these tools that they are using to process information, when they are strong and efficient, the tasks related to those tools, like for example, if you take visual processing, auditory processing, key tools for reading and comprehension, reading fluency and comprehension. If these are deficient, it's going to affect reading and comprehension. If working memory, processing speed, these tool sets are deficient, what we understand as mental stability, focus, concentration, that's not happening. That's not happening. Every 10 minutes, the child is going to be hungry, or I want to go to the washroom, those things are going to be happening. So it's not an interest issue. Interest issue बहुत बाद में आता है. It's much later. It's probably an ability issue. Now, when we started, we wanted to work with children on this. And these are skills. See, any skill, the best format is a one-on-one format. That could be a gym, that could be any sport, any format.
Right.
A one-on-one format. So when we started Neural Space, we knew for sure that we are going to stick to the one-on-one format. So we only work with children in a one-on-one format.
Excellent.
Not even 2 to a trainer.
Okay. Guys, any questions from the audience, please feel free to ask Avinash. He'll be happy to answer. We have actually crossed our time, but I'll take another 2-3 minutes, Avinash, and then we'll give this a close.
Sure.
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 So, like we were talking about, जो बच्चों के लिए and mothers के लिए जो ये bonding activity है, like you're talking about, and where the mothers are able to identify the ability and work on the ability rather than push them towards that. So that's what is basic for any mom or a parent for that matter.
Absolutely.
So here we will urge the parents that here there is Mr. Avinash Bartake with an amazing concept of trainer mom. आप खुद अपने बच्चे के साथ एक बॉन्डिंग एक्सरसाइज क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, उनके साथ उनको सिखाना, खुद सीखना, और उनके साथ एक होलनेस और एक फुल काइंड ऑफ relationship develop karna is what we are aiming for, and this is a very good way to connect because ये बचपन है. अगर अब bonding हो जाती है, it lasts for the longest time and it creates amazing people going forward. So you must take advantage of something like this ताकि आपके बच्चे एक बढ़िया इंसान बन सके, एक इंटेलिजेंट इंसान बन सके जो जिंदगी में कुछ हासिल करे और फेस कर सके सब obstacles को. So you must take this opportunity, and if there are any questions, I would be happy. क्योंकि universe of moms है Avinash, so most of the mothers are here, and उन सब, most of them, the age group may vary from younger moms to much older moms, but I'm sure that we can help each other. अगर हमें पता चलता है something like this exists, so we can help each other. There are teachers and there are professors and there are so many people connecting with the educational system here in the country and overseas
Absolutely.
also. So ये ऐसे नहीं है कि this is only India based, this is online and this can be done very, very comfortably. So we must take advantage. Your parting words, Avinash, before you go.
Yeah.
What would you like to say?
Basically, look. First, thank you for the time and all of your community that's attending, all the moms.
Yeah, thank
For
you.
more information, in the Instagram bio, you will find a link that takes you to the program itself. In short, these are video tutorials that are very easy to follow. Okay? And it's going to be a boon for your child. Trust me, for yourself as well as your child. Okay? And the other thing is there are simple activities that you can think of that can be done by yourself at home. You know, I was telling Kiran, you know, in our times, like my mom used to offload tasks like cleaning the rice.
Yeah.
And in those days, you didn't have packaged rice, so
Yes.
they'd have these little pebbles, and it'd take like 10 minutes to search out 3 pebbles.
Right.
You know, the little pebble. This is an activity that you could do at home.
Correct.
Put in some pebbles in there and let him.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That improves attention. That's fine motor skills. So these are little things that you can do, and you can definitely connect with us, and we'll work with you all to do the best that we can. Where the trainer mom is concerned, you can just visit the website, or in the link in the bio, you will find the link, and you can get it from there.
Great. Wow. That was amazing. Avinash, wonderful talking to you. I mean,
pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Wish you a great life ahead. Thank you for sharing all your tips. I'm sure most of us are going to benefit from this, and we are going to have our children writing better, thinking better, living better. What else from the Holistic Life, Unimo, both those events would we want? And from, of course, Neural Space would we want for our kids? So God bless.
Absolutely.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.